What's up, everybody? Welcome back to GameSpot Cross Kinda Funny here on GameSpot.com/E3. I'm Greg, that's Colin, and this is Aaron Greemberg from Xbox himself. Look at that, they love you out here. They're clapping like crazy for you, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're
well,
good.
thank you.
We're excited to be here. Congratulations. What a great press conference.
Thank you.
You guys killed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
At what point did you think you had something special?
We've been working on it for a long time.
Yeah.
Team worked really hard on this, and I would say, we locked the show about a week ago.
Yeah.
In the last week, and at that point we felt good, but frankly, until we see the fans and the reaction from folks like you guys, we never really know.
Yeah, I was super impressed. I mean, it seemed like you guys had focused not only on the games, but on Xbox One as a device and listening to the fans and updating it. So, was it easy to balance, the need to obviously show products, along with saying, hey, if you already own one, well, here's what we're doing with it as well.
I mean, that's totally what this holiday is about for us. It's like, there's tens of millions of people that own an Xbox 360. We know a lot of them have been waiting to upgrade. If they've been waiting for Halo, we have Halo 5. They've been waiting for Gears, we're bringing Gears. A lot have been waiting for backwards compatibility, we're bringing that as well. So we think, with all the exclusives, all the games coming this year, now is kind of the time, and we expect a lot of those people to migrate, and hopefully that kind of made it through. That's really our big focus this holiday, is to primarily get those people to move over and welcome new fans as well.
I mean, what is right now, in your mind at least, the character of Xbox? You know what I mean? There's been a lot of changes lately. You guys are right now, I think, killing it on all fronts. How do you describe what's happening there?
Well, it really starts from the top. I mean, Phil Spencer has just been a fantastic leader to take over the Xbox business. You saw him in that role for the first time at E3 last year. And, all of us here that have been working on the business for a long time, we love our fans, and we really want to put fans at the center of everything we do. And I think if you look at the way we show up, look at the games we're investing in, we look at the monthly updates, the feedback, that's really how we're building our business. And so that's how I would like to kind of think about our brand, is really focus on the fans first and the kind of the business second. With the fans first, you'll be all right in the long term.
Is it difficult to kind of be you guys are a big company within a big company, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a big organization, I'd say, or a group within a big company.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to kind of be nimble and move around? Because I've been super impressed with watching Xbox One evolve over these last year and a half, or even really 2 years since it was revealed. And I think a lot of people thought that there were significant missteps when it was revealed. And yet, everything's kind of changed. Is it difficult for a company as big as yours to kind of move that quickly? Because I've certainly been impressed watching it.
Well, we have a really, really tight team. And so our leadership team is super tight. The people that work on those products, and we are, the gaming group is a dedicated gaming group. So while we're part of a bigger company and there's a lot of resources we can use, if it's about Azure or cloud, or there's other types of infrastructure we want to use, or we built our platform on the Windows OS. I mean, there's a lot of those benefits, but today, the way we focus on studios and content and updates and all that sits within our team, and so we really manage it end to end.
So for you, what was the most exciting part of the press conference?
We really, our strategy was to open big, and we wanted to really front load the show.
Sure.
And in the past, we've always gone through this, hey, did we start with 2015 and kind of move later? And so, biggest exclusive of the year, Halo 5, let's open with that. Let's have Bonnie come out, kick off the show for us. I mean, she's a fantastic leader, somebody we're really proud of, having that game open the show. To go from that and then unveil new IP with Recore, with the project from Inafune-san and Armature, and to go from that and then do back compat, and then from that to do the new Elite wireless controller. We kind of were like, hey, if we don't have you after those first four things,
get out. We'll never have you.
That's what we've got. So if that's not getting you,
that's what I found, I think, most impressive being in the war room about it, right?
Yeah.
Is that you start with Halo, and you have Alfredo, who's our first-person shooter, loves everything you guys do, crazy guy. He's into it. Then you come out and you give Recore, which was like, for people who have to make predictions about the industry, completely out of left field.
Yeah.
Inafune's coming out, his other game's not out yet, he's coming out, putting this game on this thing, teaming up with Armature, okay, and then, you are going after that audience that wants a crazy customizable controller, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and actually I have one here with me. If you
Oh,
figure it out. You want to?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't even know that. I thought those were HoloLens.
So, yeah, I walk around the HoloLens in my back pocket. So
you're playing Minecraft everywhere.
Before you even talk about what this thing could do, I mean, just look at how beautiful that is.
Damn.
It's cool.
And all the customizable triggers. Everything's swappable.
Yeah, this is
so
really
if you want a
cool.
traditional D-pad, it's just magnetic. You drop it right in.
Magnetic.
Yeah, I'll let you guys get up going.
Let me try the crazy disco ball D-pad.
Go for it. Go for it.
And see, this is the thing with the pedals on the back.
Yeah, this is...
That was when I was like, this controller might be too much for me. I'm not elite.
It's funny because as we were talking about before, when Greg and I were still journalists, we covered PlayStation primarily, and the DualShock 3 was awful, and the DualShock 4 was such a step up, and then every time I hold an Xbox One controller,
You're like, this feels
I'm
perfect.
like, this is really pretty spot on, but everything feels so ergonomic and right on this. Here, check it out.
Yeah, we really heard a lot from our fans, and particularly from pro gamers that play on Xbox, that they really wanted an Elite controller. So we designed it with a lot of their feedback. You can actually tighten. A lot of people like the tighter for shooters, like the tighter hairpin.
Oh.
So flip these. These get your racing, go looser. Your shooting, go tighter. Everything is swappable, programmable.
Oh,
you can have
weird.
multiple profiles. You can flip a switch. If you want to be able to run when you're playing an FPS, but then you jump in the Warthog and you want to drive differently, just you flip the profile switch on top.
This is really cool.
It's fully customizable in every way.
I saw that it's certainly priced at a premium, and some people were complaining about it, but you can see, frankly, why.
Yeah.
This is a pretty impressive piece of tech here.
Yeah, it's basically the price of 2 controllers.
Yep.
So you can get 2 regular controllers or get what, frankly, we think is the greatest controller ever made.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Hold on to that tight. Greg wants to see the HoloLens next.
I just want to play Minecraft everywhere. Every toilet seat.
So one of the things I've been really impressed with watching Xbox is how you're identifying games that make sense and developers that make sense.
Yeah.
Insomniac with Sunset, for instance.
Yeah.
Now you find Armature, which is made up a bunch of Metroid Prime devs, but have really only been doing porting work up until now. Yet this game looks very AAA indeed.
Yes.
And you find Inafune, my favorite developer of all time.
Oh yeah.
So you got my attention with that. How are you going through and identifying these studios, these second or third party studios outside of your own environment? Because you obviously own 343 and the Coalition and all these studios, but how are you identifying partners to work with for exclusives outside of that?
Well, we have a whole team that works on what we call published games. And so we really go out and try to find the very best game developers in the world who we know largely want to stay independent, but also are willing to make exclusive games for us. So we treat them like first party, and so we're able to kind of go out and pick from. I mean, Insomniac's a great example of that. Sunset was one of my favorite games of last year, and we're huge Inafune-san fans, and Inafune-san and Armature have been wanting to do this for a long time. The fact that we've been able to work with them on this project kind of secretly, and then we're planning on bringing it out this coming spring, I think it's great to sort of have a big surprise for E3, and that's definitely how we planned it. And that's a good compliment to the existing franchises, like you said, what we're doing with Rod and the team at Coalition, with 343 and Halo, Turn 10 and Forza. So we have those own studios, but we also are investing a lot in published titles as well. Scalebound's another example of that with Kamiya-san at Platinum, Crackdown, etc. So we're really trying to balance that and bringing new IP, and a lot of times we do that through published games.
And that's one of the things I think we've been talking. We just did our press conference wrap up to compliment you guys on how aggressively you're coming after it and how it's working. Is the fact that before E3 even happens, you come out and you're like, hey, Crackdown, Scalebound, they're not going to even be at this conference. They're going to be at Gamescom. Don't worry about them. Let's talk about what's right now.
I mean, frankly, we really do have the greatest games lineup we've ever had in the history of our business. So you think about just exclusives this year. We have Halo, Forza, Fable, Gears of War, we have Rare Replay, we have Gigantic. I mean, all these games, Tomb Raider, all exclusive only this year. I mean, so for us, we filled the show, and in fact, we're even doing bonus daily shows every day to show more content. We announced our new Xbox One experience. We're talking about Cortana integration, a lot of things that we just ran out of time in the briefing. And then we'll still go to Gamescom, and we're saving a lot of those big titles for Gamescom and some new surprises as well.
Yeah, that's what we were reflecting on, is that after we saw the Sony conference, some of those games obviously spoke maybe more to us than some others, but I was really impressed with your control of not only this year, but also of next year. And of saying before the show, well, we have Scalebound, we have Crackdown, we have all these games, and we're not even going to bother talking about them because we're more worried about what's imminent. And I'm curious, since we have you here, were you able to see Sony's conference, and what did you think of those games? And kind of, it seems like, frankly, we were talking about you're going to kind of clean their clocks in terms of exclusives this year. So how do you feel about all of that?
We watched their briefing. I thought they did a great job. I thought they had a lot of great games. We actually do this we kind of geek out, do this like scorecard afterwards, and we look like how many, we showed, I don't know if you guys know, we showed 25 games, Sony showed 25 games, we showed 11 exclusives, they showed 11 exclusives. The big difference was, though, we showed 7 exclusives that are coming this year, and they didn't really show any titles coming this year. So I think that's the big difference. We're trying to deliver this year for our fans. And so, but with that said, I mean, they had a lot of great games. So that Uncharted looked great. It's really, awesome to see, the push to get people to help fund Shenmue. I know that's a big fan favorite. So I think they had some great fan favorites. At the same time, we feel like we're delivering the big blockbusters this year, and I think back compatibility and having that as a differentiator will help drive a lot of adoption of our console this holiday.
Well, yeah, you're talking about, the big blockbusters, these big games you have, but I mean, for me, it was also that you're speaking to what it seems like the gaming community wants right now, these smaller, independent things that are happening that aren't going to be 40-hour campaigns, or but like, Cuphead looks awesome.
Yeah, it really
and you
does.
guys came out and gave Cuphead so much love, first in the sizzle, and then have them actually talk about it.
Correct. It's a universal. I think it might be our only universal game of the show, actually, across all 4 of us.
Now
it's on
it's on a whiteboard because it can move at any time.
Okay,
But
okay.
Now we have been yelled at. Now, so yeah, I have it here.
I'm not a yeller, so it's all good.
It's here for me,
Okay.
here for Colin, here for Tim, and then here for Cisco. Now, I don't know if you're aware of the rapper Cisco. He's our correspondent today.
Song,
He's running around. And I want you to know that he did. He sent me the games he wanted to see while he was at E3. Number 1 on Xbox was Cuphead.
That's awesome. Well, Cuphead's really, I think it's been a kind of an indie darling for us, and
Yeah.
we've been working closely with them. As you know, that game is coming as a console exclusive
Right.
for us, so we're excited to really showcase what I think is one of the most original and fun games ever made.
Yeah.
Nice to see Fallout 4 on there as well.
Oh, we can't wait.
And so, Todd Howard and the team of Bethesda has been longtime partners with us, and we're excited to have the mods coming, PC mods finally coming to console, coming to Xbox. And then with backwards compatibility, we're able to bring Fallout 3 as an exclusive offer for our fans as well. So we're doing a deep partnership with them, and really, we couldn't have picked a bigger title this holiday to do that with.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about backwards compatibility because I really do feel that was the most significant announcement at any conference this year.
Yeah.
Because it potentially opens up a library of 1,000 games eventually or whatever for Xbox One. Was that a technical challenge for you guys, a significant technical challenge, and also a challenge in dealing with the stakeholders? Because you probably have to get permission from the publishers to put these games out again and things of this nature. So was that like a very complex behind-the-scenes kind of?
It's a great question. So you're absolutely right. When we launched the platform, the architecture changed. We were not able to do it. And so that's one of the great benefits of being part of Microsoft and having access to some of the greatest software minds really that exist anywhere. And they went off and spent over a year working on this project, trying to create a system that'll emulate Xbox 360. And what it actually does is it launches the Xbox 360 console on the Xbox One. So actually you see the boot up of the 360 animation. So those games run. They don't even know they're on they run exactly as if they're on Xbox 360. So the beauty of that is, unlike what we did with 360 with One compatibility, was that developers don't have to do any work. We just have an emulation, and then every week, every month, they're updating it to make more and more games work. And of course, we want partners to say, yep, that we support that game working. We expect almost all of them will. We're starting with 100 titles this holiday. We'll have hundreds added in the coming months. Very, very, very quickly, we're going to have a massive library. And what's awesome is you actually go in, and when you look at your games to install, they just appear there. And suddenly you're like, oh my God, I forgot I had Castle Crashers and Alien, whatever, your favorite digital games. And your disc games work too.
That's what I'm most excited, I think, for, is to go home and turn on the library and see stuff as it gets added. Because you're going to forget. I go in there all the time to move stuff around or see what's happening or get an update. And to go in there and be like, oh, right, State of Decay again. Why not?
Absolutely. And there's been a big push to do a lot of remakes this generation. But for us, it's like, hey, we can be very selective about what we need to remake, and people can go back and play that. And so you saw we're doing that with Rainbow Six, where we're saying, hey, we're going to include Vegas and Vegas 2 free as part of that, right? And so we want to do that with a lot of our franchises. Just we want to open up as many games as possible to let people play that. And then you're like, well, okay, so wait a minute. If my Xbox One can stream to my PC with Windows 10, I can also stream my 360 games to my PC. And it's like, well, and then if we're working with the VR providers, it's like, if Rift is actually a display for Windows 10, then I could probably, it's just, your library, ideally you end up with the largest game library you've ever had. It's pretty awesome. It unlocks a lot of stuff when you start to really wrap your head around it.
And you made an interesting point that I think is really salient, which is, even though this might have a chilling effect on the way publishers bring out collections or HD remasters or whatever, it's a pro-consumer move because the games have already been paid for. And I think that's something that's going to resonate, maybe not now because people aren't thinking about it with all this excitement going on around them, but when they settle in, maybe this summer, this holiday, when these games start coming out, obviously this holiday, they'll realize that they already own them and they don't have to buy them again.
You already saw things starting to change, right? It seems like now anytime you put out remastered, everybody's like, all right, but do we really need a definitive game of the year, whatever edition of this game that was just last year, 2 years ago, or whatever? This is an elegant solution, which I think we like.
Ideally, we'd like to be able to say, hey, you've invested in this games library. People have spent a lot of money on 360 titles. You shouldn't have to pay to play those games again on the new console. And so that's about us really putting fans first. Even if we're going to remaster a game, technically, if it's capable, we'll make the back compatible game available as well. So we're not, for us, it's fans first in all these decisions, and that's the beauty of the team and how we really think about the business.
So was it a hard decision, or at least a hard problem to solve, of getting HoloLens on the stage? I think when you talk about VR, everyone's like, it's going to be great, but how do we show it?
Sure. Well, I think VR and, you know, kind of mixed reality with HoloLens, we're really in the early days of that technology.
So, yeah.
Even if you see where the games are, the tech is. So for us, we're sort of like saying, hey, let's go innovate and just offer a lot of choice and not force our customers into one solution. It's so early. We don't know what's going to work. We don't know what people are going to really adopt from a game standpoint. HoloLens is an amazing device that really does amazing things with taking your real world environments and then augmenting them with these other experiences. And I think Minecraft we looked at a bunch of different, Minecraft by far was our favorite thing, and we're like, we got to show this.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to sort of see people when we put out the HoloLens and they're like, wait a minute, HoloLens, we weren't expecting this. And then they saw the Minecraft thing and kind of their minds were blown. And
well, and that was the thing, because for me, you started, and it's projected on the wall, and I'm confused as to what I'm seeing, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, whatever. And then when he moved to the table, I was like, oh my
And I can tell you, that demo's real. I went in, I played it, I did that exact demo.
Yeah.
You can actually look underneath, you can see the lava underground.
Which is cheating.
It
as,
is
as
cheating.
a Minecraft player, that's cheating.
Fair
Part
enough.
of the fun, Colin, is tunneling down and see, well, I wasted 30 minutes and I've hit bedrock. That
Right,
sounds
exactly.
thrilling. And you don't know. Go play your Danganronpas.
Yeah, and for me, like, I was just geeking out watching him staring at a table where there was nothing on it,
Right.
and then looking up at the screen and then seeing this whole world there. And so I think, you know, it's like it's something we're innovating with, and we're really excited about sort of also innovating in new ways for people to play games. I think the games you will experience with whether it's VR or with mixed reality with HoloLens will be different, unique type of games than what you play on the console. But I think, you know, it's another opportunity for us to create those types of experiences for those devices, and we really want to just offer consumers as much choice as possible. So having the partnership with Oculus, having our controller officially part of that. We also announced the partnership with Valve and their VR solution. And that's the beauty of having the Windows 10 architecture sort of as the foundation for everything we do, is we're just compatible with everybody. And then our gamers sort of get the choice across whatever they want to use.
Earlier we were talking about, obviously, the importance of exclusives and how you guys are really knocking it out of the park with those. Yeah. But it seems like more and more what we're seeing is timed exclusives. And I'm curious about how important are those as well? Presumably a game like Tomb Raider is a timed exclusive, but then you have your real exclusives like Halo, which will obviously never be on anything else. Sure. Are those really important as a stakeholder to get people to buy your console or to be interested in your console? Do you have it 6 months, a year out? Or do you feel like maybe total exclusivity is obviously more important?
It's a really great question. What you've seen from us is invest a lot more in true exclusives. And so what you see from our holiday lineup are mostly true exclusives. There are some that are longer term exclusives, I think like Tomb Raider, that we don't own the IP, we don't own it, but that's a very long term partnership, and we're excited to have that also coming exclusive. And then there are some first on, like we have the beta coming first with the Division, or we have other things where we'll get, but for the most part, we're focusing more on longer term exclusivity and not, you know, the shorter term window. But with that said, we just want to bring great games to our platform, and in many cases, the partnership or the investment that we do with those partners enables those games to get made, and so it's a good thing because we bring those games to our platform ultimately.
And the deal with Activision, obviously, and Call of Duty had lapsed finally, and it was actually shocking not to see that game at Microsoft's conference. What kind of thought process goes into it? Is this worth it?
Yeah.
Is this, because some people on Twitter were actually making a great point that, well, you've engendered a Call of Duty audience on Xbox for so long that you really don't need to do that anymore because they're already there. So how, like, when you let something like that lapse and then you see that at Sony's conference,
I just seem to take it hard, is all I'm saying.
We're going to talk to her.
Is that something that's very calculated, and obviously, you know, maybe you guys look at it and be like, well, we have to spend X amount of money on this, or we get this amount of return, but we've already done this for X amount of years, and so we can let it move on.
Sure. I mean, for us, we really think about, you know, first, you're right. We have the largest community today of Call of Duty players anywhere is on Xbox. As we think about what we're delivering with shooters, you know, if you want to play Halo, if you want to play Gears, if you want to play Call of Duty all in one box, we're going to be the only box to do that. The same with Battlefront. And so, you know, I think for us, and having the Elite controller and really being that home to online multiplayer games, shooter games, I think we'll continue to do really well there. We even saw with Destiny, while that wasn't a partnership title for us, you know, NPD showed that sold more units on our box than the competition. So for us, it's about making those bets we bet big on the third-party side this holiday on Fallout 4, in addition to our first-party lineup. So, you know, every year you make different bets, and with that said, we have a great relationship with Activision. They've been really good partners, and we're really grateful for what they've done for us on Call of Duty, and we'll continue to support. In fact, you can pre-order Call of Duty today on your Xbox One, and so we think we'll continue to be the home to Call of Duty, whether or not we're the advertising marketing partner.
Aaron, how long have you been at Xbox now?
Forever. Actually, I was thinking maybe I should just quit my job at Xbox and join Kinda Funny.
We got another one!
We got
Kinda Funny exclusive, another one!
Reel him in.
What could you do
I mean,
for
I
us?
was inspired by your guys' story, just
Thank you.
quitting, doing your own thing. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
And so a fan of the show,
Thank you.
and it's been good. I even watched your guys' reaction to our briefing, and
Oh,
I know
cool.
you guys did the Sony podcast before, and so it's nice to sort of see you guys going in a new space. It sounds like it's working out pretty well.
Oh yeah, it's going
Thank you
great
very
for
much.
us. Yeah,
So
yeah,
just so I understand, if I quit, like, where do I sleep?
well, Colin and I live in the same apartment we work in, so
Okay.
you can come there.
Is the couch
we got a
taken?
We have a
couch.
couch.
yeah.
We have a couch.
All
Well,
right.
Andrew Goldfarb has been staying on it recently, but I
Yeah,
think we can
It's
kick
well
him
worn in.
Yeah, it's
It's
definitely.
well worn in.
Okay, got
Portillo
it.
might have
Okay.
peed on it a couple of times.
Two
All right.
dozen times. yeah, he's
But
got a
in
problem.
all seriousness, I've been on Xbox for 15 years, so
Yeah.
I've done sort of everything.
Since
What
the
I want to
origin.
call out is that you were the first Xbox name I ever got to know, and
Yeah.
this is when I was still working in Columbia at the newspaper. Right?
Okay.
There was two guys, Matt and Todd, who in the town were doing this thing called Short Attention Gamer, a podcast.
Oh, yeah, I
And it was
remember
one of the first podcasts I'd ever really known about, let alone that was happening around me.
In
And I-
Missouri.
yeah.
Yeah.
I eventually became a recurring character on it, but I remember you were on it from the jump, and you were
Yeah.
awesome with them, and you
Yeah.
gave them codes, and it was like, I couldn't get over that someone from Xbox, there's a million other things going on. This is right around the launch of the 360, was here doing this now.
No, that was, I mean, from the beginning, I've always had sort of a passion for the community, the gamers, and no matter the size of the podcast. And yeah, to be honest, like back in those days, like, you know, our PR team was mostly focused on the big media outlets, and I would spend the time on those sites because I cared and I listened to them, and I remember those guys very
Yeah.
well. And so there was a lot of great community, kind of homegrown grassroots movement that was happening, kind of pre-YouTube boom, kind of pre-social media boom. And so for me, it was excited just to be part of that.
Yeah.
And to see now, it's like, I mean, it's dominating, right?
Oh,
And
right,
so-
yeah.
And so for
Everybody's
me-
got a podcast now.
Exactly, yeah. So it was fun to be part of that and continue to be. That's one of my passions. I mean, one of the things that we really invested a lot in this year was to do a big fan fest. I sort of dreamed of saying, hey, E3 is this industry show. Fans watch it, they're fascinated by it, but we actually wanted to bring fans along with us. So we have 500 fans here. They lined up and spent the night overnight to get tickets. They were at our briefing. We did a big event for them yesterday afternoon. We're doing another big event for them tonight. And we worked with the ESA to make a special exception to give them passes to the show. So for me, like that, I'm all about that. I love spending time with the fans, and that's that's like the fuel for kind of the hard work and
Yeah,
everything
I feel
that
like
we
that's the fruits of your labor. Like you're out there doing these grassroots
Yeah.
things, getting people involved, talking to whoever you can, and now we look down the line, 8 years, a decade later,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you see people flocking to it and doing all the
Still
different
here.
things. Yeah. How much longer do you think you're going to be there? Is Xbox your life?
Well, this might be my last day because I'm thinking
Well,
about
now you're
joining
coming to Kinda Funny, of course.
Kinda
Yeah, yeah.
So
Fair enough.
no, I mean, you know, I've done a bunch of different jobs in the company in different places, but now coming back and kind of running all of our games marketing teams across first and third party, this is my dream job.
Yeah.
So basically, unless they tell me to go do something else, I'm not leaving. And I'm just going to want to continue to crush it. And I get to work with a great team of people. I mean, I will tell you, work with a lot of companies in this industry, but I really feel like the team we have, the people we work with, they care, they support each other, they love our community, they love our games. We have passion for what we do. It is not a job. It is truly like family. And so we have something special, and I just want to enjoy the moments of what we have right now and hopefully make it last as long as possible.
That's awesome. Aaron, I love you. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for
Yeah,
coming
thank you
by.
for coming.
spending
Thank
so much
you.
time with us. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with us. This is GameSpot Cross Kinda Funny, GameSpot.com/E3. We're here all day long with crazy celebrities, developers, and ads. We're going to an ad, and then we're going to Cisco. I love you very much.